Welcome to the Effortless English Show with the world's #1 English teacher, AJ Hogue, where AJ's more than 40 million students worldwide finally learn English once and for all, without the boring textbooks, classrooms, and grammar drills. Here's AJ with a quick piece to help you learn to speak fluent English effortlessly.
I'm AJ Hogue, author of Effortless English. Learn to speak English like a native. Our topic today, economic disaster. Economic disaster. Prepare now. Prepare now. Join my VIP program at effortlessenglishclub.com. Invest in your education, in your future, and your competitiveness. Join my VIP program. Commit. Don't quit. You've got to commit. And now's the time to make a strong commitment at effortlessenglishclub.com. effortlessenglishclub.com. Got a baby crying in the other room. Sorry about that. Hello, I'm just going to let a few people join us live. Let our audience join live. Now today, I don't know if we call it a black pill. Not exactly, but it's not a white pill. Okay? So on one hand, as I'm saying, don't fear the virus. Don't fear the virus. And as I said earlier this week, I believe it's the economic collapse. The economic collapse that is the real danger here. And I believe a massive, big economic crash is happening right now. It's already happening. It is happening. It's going to continue to get worse and worse and worse and worse. Really, really, really bad. Welcome. So let me just kind of outline what I think might happen. That's just, am I an economist? No, but I think it's pretty darn obvious. It's very obvious what's happening, okay? And anyone who was alive in 2008, we saw this happen. And nothing was fixed, okay? They didn't fix anything in 2008. In fact, they made everything worse. They just gave lots of money to the banks. The banks continued to do the same things they did that caused the first crash. This time, it's going to be much worse. Of course, this time, it's not just a market crash. You got the whole coronavirus thing. You have economies completely stopping. The world economy is stopping, right? We're going to see massive collapses. So this is what I think is going to happen. Number one, of course, obviously, everything's shutting down. Everything is stopping. The first thing this will do, it's going to kill small businesses. This will kill small businesses. Most small businesses do not have enough money to survive months and months with no income, right? They certainly don't have enough money to pay their employees for months and months. So the first thing the small businesses must do is stop paying their employees. They can't pay employees if they're not open, right? This is obvious. So, and small businesses, they have a lot of employees. If you look at it in terms of the number of people who work in small or medium-sized businesses, it's a lot. It's a lot. And those people are going to be losing their jobs soon, very soon. And a lot of those businesses are going to collapse. Some of them are in debt. A lot of them are in debt. They got loans. They've got rent to pay, and they have zero income right now. So they'll start by trying to cut their expenses, cutting all those jobs, and then eventually they'll fail. So we're going to see that very quickly. There's the first to go. Then I think we're also going to see banks failing, right? This is what started the 2008 collapse of the stock market and economic collapse. It's going to be much worse this time, much worse. Then the governments, mostly the United States government and also in Europe, they, stole all the money from us, the taxpayers, and gave it to these giant banks to help them survive. I don't think they can do it this time. I don't know if they can keep the banks going this time. I think we may see a lot of banks just failing, collapsing, which will, of course, is going to have, it's going to like a ripple, like you throw a stone in the water and and we're also going to see then eventually big businesses will start cutting jobs first. That's the first thing they'll do, trying to survive, cutting. So huge unemployment. And then we will probably see some big businesses just go bankrupt completely. Maybe many. So this is worse than the Great Depression even. The Great Depression back in the 30s. Again, massive stock market crash and other problems, but it wasn't just a complete. The entire world economy didn't just suddenly stop in 1 month. That's what's happening now. So this is probably worse than that. So during the Great Depression, the stock market dropped 80%, 80. And I think we may see something like that with the stock market now. It's up and down. Let's take a look what the stock market's doing. They keep trying to keep it up by trying to pump money into it, right? But what happens is they'll pump some money into it, and it'll go up a little bit. And then the next day it crashes even bigger. And then they try to pump some more money in, it goes up a little bit, and then it crashes even bigger. And I think this is just going to keep happening for who knows how low it'll go, but probably very low. And in the Great Depression, of course, the big thing for average people, for normal people, was the huge unemployment, massive unemployment. Here's another problem. Governments around the world have huge debt right now, giant debt. So what do? Either they get more and more debt, which means higher taxes and all kinds of problems, or they say, we're not going to pay the debt, so then the banks will collapse even worse, right? So you can see, like, no matter what they do, we're going to have massive, huge, terrible economic problems. Let's look at what the unemployment rate, Great Depression. Just to give you an idea of what's possible. The highest rate of unemployment was 25% during the Great Depression. That's USA. What about Germany? Was 33%. Okay, so that's what we're, this is what's possible. So, good news and bad news. That's bad news. It's all bad news. It's bad news. But here's the thing. Like Tony Robbins has a nice saying. I like his saying. He says, see it as it is. I mean, see the situation as it is, right? But not worse than it is. Okay, so what he's kind of saying is that, number one, if the situation's really bad, don't pretend it's good. It's bad. Okay, like I said, I don't think the virus part of it is so terrible. The economic part, I think, is really, 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 really bad. So see it as it is. We have to face reality, and sometimes the reality is pretty bad, and but not worse than it is. Okay, and what he's really saying here is don't become too emotional and upset and become afraid, and then start making it worse and worse and worse and worse in your head. It's easy to do. I've done it in my own personal life sometimes when facing a bad situation, and then I just get so upset and worried, and then it gets worse. I make it worse and worse and worse in my head, actually worse than it really is. Okay? So, but it's bad. It is very, very bad. It's going to be really, really, really bad. And I think it's going to be really, really bad for a while, for a long time, not just 1 month. Okay? Years probably, maybe years. I don't know. I mean, I can't see the future, guys, but I can just see what obviously is happening, and I think we all know it's going to be bad. Everybody knows that the economy, this is going to be really bad. So we have to prepare for the worst. Okay, this is the other thing. Hopefully, we're lucky. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but probably not. But even if I'm wrong, we have to prepare for the worst, right? You don't prepare for the easiest situation. That's right. And then hope Hope for that, right? We say prepare for the worst, hope for the best. Of course, we hope for the best, but we also have to prepare for the worst. And now, right now is the time to prepare for this. Because most people out there are just totally focused on right now, like today. They're just focused on the news. They're just focused on the virus stuff. They kind of probably have some economic worries, but they're not really thinking ahead 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 1 year. They're not thinking it, and they're not planning ahead. Not most people. Most people just don't do it. Most people don't think ahead and don't plan ahead. It's again like the ant and the grasshopper. We can see most people are grasshoppers. Most people are grasshoppers, and they just don't plan ahead. You've got to be like the ants, okay? And now, right now, okay, is when we have to do it. So let's say it's a terrible situation like Germany was 33%, 35% unemployment. That's horrible. But on the other hand, 65% still had a job, right? So that's the good side. 65% still had a job. So still over half the people still could have work. So let's say it's the biggest depression, disaster, unemployment ever in world history, modern world history. And it's 50% unemployment. Well, that's still half and half. It means you still have a 50-50 chance of getting a job, keeping a job, being okay. So that's the somewhat optimistic way to look at it. So here's what you have to think. I've talked about this before. The first thing you have to think is, how can I guarantee that I will be one in the group that gets a job? How can I guarantee, at least, that I have a very good chance of being one of the people that keeps their job or can get a job? Right? Well, and now's the time to prepare. Right now, while everybody else is freaking out and just thinking about virus, you start preparing for this right now. And I already did a show about this, right? So, first you want to prepare your job skills. You've got to get really good at this, guys. Okay, number one, of course, I talked about job skills. Yes, your English. Use this time now when you're at home to do 2 hours a day, do 3 hours a day, do 4 hours a day of English. If you're a VIP member, listen to those, repeat those lessons every single day. I highly recommend my business English course right now because it has great job search strategies in there. But just improve your English in general. It's a skill that is useful that can help you get a job and where you have an advantage over someone else who's trying to get that job or keep your job. But and then, of course, other skills too. And you can do this online. Right now is the time to get online and start learning things online. Learn things online. Okay? Whether it's computer programming or marketing or sales or other technical skills, whatever it is that you think will be helpful to you for getting a job and keeping a job, do it now, right now, today. Get online and I guarantee you can find a course. I guarantee somewhere online you can find a course to teach you whatever skill you think you need or you want that's going to help you. Okay, so that's number one, those obvious job skills. Watch my show earlier this week for more details about that. Next thing, you need to learn job searching because you might lose your job. Not because you're bad, not because anything wrong with you, just because your company might collapse. Okay, your company might just start cutting huge numbers of jobs to save money, to survive, and you just might be unlucky, right? We all know this happens. So again, you want to be ready. So you need to make sure you have an excellent resume, a really, really, really good resume. Okay, if you don't know how to do that, you need to learn. Make sure you have a great cover letter campaign. I mean, this is what I describe in my business English course, is how to do a campaign, not just one cover letter, but a series of cover letters that are really powerful, where you're marketing yourself. You could start doing it right now, even during the shutdown of the economy. You could start contacting companies right now, just in case, as insurance. They're not going to hire you right now. definitely not, but you can at least start making some connections where it gives you a little advantage over other people who are doing nothing. Okay? And then learn the skill of job interviewing. Super important. Okay? You need to be really, really good at interviewing for a job. So, get some books about that. Again, my business English course talks about that. It will teach you some skills. But most of all, you have to practice. You have to kind of do pretend interviews, right? You can just do it alone in a mirror, right? You get a list of common job interview questions and ask yourself one of them, and then watching yourself in a mirror, you practice giving a great answer, right? And you just keep improving. The more you practice, the better you will get. But now's the time, right now. Don't wait until it's too late. Don't wait until you need to do a job interview and then now I got to learn how to do it. It's too late then, right? Then you need to do it right now. Get really good at job interviewing now, so that maybe 1 month from now, 2 months from now, 3 months from now, 6 months from now, you will have that skill. You'll be really good at it, so that you can use it when you need it. Okay? It's just like the ant and the grasshopper. It's too late. When it's winter, it's too late. Okay? So right now. So job skills, English, of course. And then resume, cover letter, interviewing. What's next? Oh, the next thing you can do. So those are the things to do to prepare yourself, put yourself in a position for keeping your job, getting another job if you need to. Okay. So again, I don't know. For me, this sounds actually hopeful a little bit. That when I read that, I have this picture in my mind about the history of Germany after World War I, and that they had a horrible economic collapse. And so when I read that the unemployment was 33%, on one hand, of course, that's really, really bad. But on the other hand, 2/3 of the population still had a job. So that is somewhat hopeful, right? You just have to make sure you're one of the 2/3. Even if it, like I said, even if it was 50% unemployment, would be a super, super, super disaster. But you still have a 50-50 chance. But you can improve that chance a lot by doing what I'm saying and starting now. Start now. Don't wait. Okay? Use this opportunity at home to learn these skills, practice these things, become confident, start identifying other, possible places you could work. Start thinking in your mind right now, like when things start again, which businesses might actually survive this, which businesses might actually benefit from this, because there might be some businesses, some medical businesses, for example, drug companies, there could be several things, big and small, that might be okay during all of this. And when everything opens again, they might be in a good position. Identify them now and consider applying for jobs with them. So for example, Amazon is doing really well because nobody can go out. So people are ordering online for stuff, right? You get the idea. You got to just figure that out yourself. Okay. But now's the time. Okay, so that's number one. I think it's pretty obvious, the first thing. And I did a whole show about this earlier. The next thing you need to do is prepare yourself financially, right? So I'm not talking about your job. I mean just how you spend money, your budget, okay? I highly recommend that you go to my YouTube or go to my blog, effortlessenglishclub.com, or YouTube. Either way, it doesn't matter. YouTube's fine too. And find my the old book club shows, videos about your money or your life. Okay, that we did that whole book, Your Money or Your Life. Okay, if you watched it, great. Maybe watch it again. If you didn't watch it, you should. Okay, you should probably buy that book too. Your Money or Your Life. Okay, and start doing those things now, those strategies. Start doing them now. Especially, of course, the main thing is financial discipline. Cut your expenses. Okay, now is the time. Now is not a good time. Don't go buy a new iPhone, obviously. Okay, if you think you could move to a cheaper place right now, do it. Now's a good time to do that. If you can cut your rent, in other words. If you think you could, cut other expenses, do it, right? Of course, the one good thing is you can't spend money on restaurants because they're closing everywhere. So you can actually, buy healthy, fairly inexpensive food and just cook at home. That's going to save you some money. So just basically just save money, save money, save money. Okay. The things you want to maybe spend money for your health, spend money for your education, for learning, for etc. But otherwise, cut things that aren't going to help you and live simply, your whole family. Get in that habit right now of strong financial discipline. All right, next thing I recommend is you're going to focus on you got to focus on your priorities, right? What's most important in life? Like in my opinion, family, I would say God, family, health. Those three. God, family, health. Religion, family, health. Dharma, family, health. Whatever word you want to use. But we'll talk about tomorrow. I'm interviewing Acharya, by the way, tomorrow at 8 a.m. Japan time. We're going to talk about all that's happening, and he'll talk about the spiritual side of it and why that's important. So I'm not going to talk about that too much right now. Let's focus on family and health. Okay. So right now, in terms of health, you've got to keep yourself healthy. Of course, the virus thing, that's one reason. The second reason is that hospitals might be overwhelmed, right? And just really busy, and doctors really busy. So just any other thing, not the virus, not the Chinese coronavirus thing, not that. I'm just talking about any health problem you have. You might have a hard time getting to a doctor and getting help. And so this is a very good time. Here's the good side. This is a very good time to learn about alternative and independent health. Okay? This is a good time to, forget the medical industry, unless you have a super emergency, right? But otherwise, you can't depend on them, right? So you're going to have to learn how to heal yourself, how to take care of yourself, how to keep yourself and your family healthy without the medical industry, without the medicines and all that stuff. So using food, using supplements, dietary supplements, maybe using certain exercises, whatever. It's a big topic, so you're going to have to look into it, but this is a good thing to learn. You have an opportunity, and the internet is a great source of information for this, okay? So start learning about these things. Learn about, how to have a really good, healthy diet. Clean food, basically. Avoid packaged food, unless it's an emergency. But eat whole, real foods. That's the most basic advice I can give you on health and eating. Learn about some supplements. So for example, your immune system. Okay, if you get sick, what could you do if you couldn't get to a doctor, if you couldn't get antibiotics and other things? Do you just die, or do you just get really, really, really sick, or are there other things you could do? There are other things you can do. You can take high doses of vitamin D and K2. You can take very high doses of vitamin C. You could sweat in a sauna. You can fast. Anyway, there's many things, many possibilities to heal yourself, to protect yourself if you get sick. And even better, of course, the best thing to do is to avoid getting sick, to stay strong, to prevent yourself from getting sick. So again, eating right, maybe a few supplements to keep your immune system strong. And then there are other things too. Certain exercises, maybe it's yoga, maybe it's whatever. You could look into, there's certain food systems, you could do, like Ayurveda is one. And anyway, look into it, find out what works for you. But it's a really good time right now to learn independent healthcare. You can also learn some first aid skills. You can watch videos on YouTube about that. Like what happens if you get a serious cut, and the emergency room is full of people coughing, and you can't really get there and get help. Can you fix it yourself? Well, I don't know, but get online and watch some videos about some basic first aid stuff, cuts, burns. If it's super serious, you need a doctor. But for the smaller stuff, learn how to take care of some of that yourself. Again, a good time to learn that. Fast. I highly recommend you start doing fasting. I'm fasting right now. Did not eat today. I'm not eating today. It's night, so today was my first day of fasting. Fasting. Number one, it helps your health a lot. Okay, it will keep you stronger, healthier. Your immune system will be stronger. It's great for preventing disease. Number two, emotionally, mentally, it makes you nice and calm and clear-headed. And I think another strong thing about fasting is that it teaches you discipline. Right? It gives you a feeling of discipline and self-control, right? So, and I think that's important because as this economic collapse happens, there's going to be a lot of fear, and you're going to need that self-control. And I don't know, like for me, when you, at least when I fast, like, I'm not afraid of starving to death because I know I'm not afraid of not eating for a few days. I'm not afraid of not eating for a week. Like no food. I know that I could go quite a long time stretching it out, doing different fasts. I might get really thin, but it just sort of gives you a kind of confidence, right? And it teaches you to have that discipline. It's good. I think it will help your financial discipline too. Fasting is really good. Fasting is just a great method of general self-control. Okay, next. I mentioned that family, also a high priority. So strengthen your family connections, and if you have friends around, now's the time. Of course, the family you live with in your home, your husband, your wife, your parents, your children, of course, right? Now's a great time. And in fact, that's one of the blessings of this, is that now you can be home with them all day, every day. How wonderful is that? That's fantastic. It's a great time to be together and strengthen those wonderful relationships. Appreciate that. Be grateful for that. Now, in addition, I recommend now's a good time to start making your other family connections, like extended family. They don't live in the same house with you, but maybe they're near you, or maybe they're not near you. But especially if they're near you, and also friends, because, as things get tough, we need each other. We need each other. If you lose your job, well, maybe, someone else can maybe help you out for a little while. Or if they lose their job, you can help them out a little bit, and you can give advice to each other, and you can teach each other things. And we need each other, right? When everything's great, we all become kind of selfish and isolated and separate. But in a time like this, when the economy's going to crash, you need other people. So again, like I said, priorities. What's most important? Your health, God, family, those family connections, those relationships, and of course your health, right? And other stuff you start to realize does not matter so much, right? This is another good thing about all this happening. We start to realize, what do we really, really, really care about, and what is not so important after all. Finally, again, I know that Acharya will talk about this tomorrow, but I do recommend pray and meditate. Pray and meditate. This is another thing that will keep you stronger and give you, a source of strength during maybe some very scary times. Fill your mind, and this is the final thing I'm going to say. I said turn off the fear porn, right? Turn off that garbage TV. I say throw it away. I should have said throw it away. I did say it, but it's not enough to turn it off. Throw it away. You want to show everybody around you, your family, be a leader. Take your TV and put it out on the street. Let someone take it. That'll be a good act of leadership on your part, showing them, some strength and calm. But the next thing you want to do is, during all of this, especially the news is going to be showing us the economic collapse every single day. You're going to start to see it, right? Like I said, I don't think you're probably going to worry too much about the virus, but I think you are going to definitely see people affected by the economic collapse, and you may be directly affected. And as this happens, you must fill your mind every day with positive things, positive, strong messages, okay? That's why it's so important. Do not watch the television. Get rid of it. Okay, what should you do instead? Of course, do regular things with your, face-to-face things with your friends and family. That's most important. But if you're gonna take in some input into your brain, right? Some kind of media, read good books. So here's what I recommend. Number one, you want people who are gonna make you feel stronger and things that will make you feel stronger and better. My VIP program. I'm going to plug my VIP program. Those of you who are VIP members know it's positive, strong messages to bring up your confidence, not just your English, but your general positive thinking, confidence, strength. This podcast, I hopefully help you feel strong and give you positive messages every day. So keep watching the show or listening to it. Other people like Tony Robbins, I highly recommend Tony. Read this is a good chance. Read some of Tony's books. He's got a few. And in addition to Tony's books, watch some of his videos. Find some of his audios. You could buy some of his audio programs. They're not so expensive now. And listen to them every day. And keep your mind and your emotions strong, right? Other people like Brian Tracy, just anyone like that who's motivational will be helpful. And then, of course, read the great scriptures of the world. Read the Bhagavad Gita. You could read it every day. Read the Bhagavad Gita. Read the Upanishads, especially the principal Upanishads. Read the Dhammapada. Read the Tao Te Ching. Read the Bible. Read the Quran. You get the idea, right? Read these. They're sources of wisdom and strength. And also read other authors like Acharya's books are great. C.S. Lewis has really great books from a Christian viewpoint. Rumi, the poetry of Rumi is wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Will fill your mind with beauty and goodness. Philosophers like Alan Watts, kind of more modern. He's also great. He's got really great books. You get the idea. You want to be feeding your mind these messages of strength and goodness and truth and, positive, strong emotions and confidence, okay? And you want to avoid the fear porn and the garbage. You've got to avoid all that. At a time like this, you need to keep your mind and emotions strong. Very important. Okay, so that's it. I think that's a pretty good plan. But the key thing is, don't be like everybody else. Everybody else is just reacting. They're just focused on the moment right now. I won't say nobody, but most people are not thinking ahead 6 months or 1 year, okay? They kind of are afraid there might be an economic problem, but they don't realize it's going to be a big one, a disastrous one, and they're probably not making plans yet. So you start making plans now. You start preparing now. You get strong. You get ready, and then you're in a good position, and you're going to be okay. You're preparing for the worst, and you'll be fine. You will be okay. Do not fear. Just prepare, okay? Prepare. Don't fear. All right. Let's get into the comments and questions. Bertsalon says, I'm so grateful you're doing a live show every day in this situation. Thank you, AJ. Yes, indeed. I'm trying to stay on that because I know that I'm trying to do my bit, my little part of just giving you guys positive, strong messages every day. Keep your morale up. Very important. Okay, let's see. I'll kind of jump back to the beginning and see people saying hi. Fabi John says, AJ, regarding the economic disaster, how long do you think the situation is going to last? For the economic problem, I don't know. It's so complex, so complicated. Years and years and years, probably. I hope I'm wrong, but I would guess that this time they can't just print money and save it. I think this time, this is it. They made the situation much worse in 2008, 2009. And now this collapse is giant. And I don't know, but prepare for years, okay? In your mind, you should be ready. Prepare for the worst, that this is going to be like a depression for years and years. Maybe we're wrong and we're lucky, but I don't know. Doesn't look good. Okay. Raphael says, I listen to you almost 8 hours a day. I hate my job, and I better use my earphones and listen to you. Greetings from Nebraska. Oh, Acharya lives in Nebraska. Nice. Okay. Andrew says, now is the time to reduce the high consumerism. The planet can become cleaner. I think more important than the planet is people's mindset. We can get back to focusing on what's really important again, right? And not all this stuff. Not the little phones and all the little electronic things we can focus. We realize it's the people and our health and things like this that are most important. Oh, he works at a beef plant. Well, I'm glad you're not closing, or else everybody starts getting hungry. Although America could, like Cole Robinson said, if America had a food shortage, everybody would get healthier. Hickey says, God doesn't help us. I hate God. Oh, you're an idiot. That's fucking stupid. Are you a child? You have free will. Your life is your responsibility. That's retarded. Don't say that. God didn't do this. The banks did it. Humans did it. Look into the bioweapon. Humans did this. It's all humans doing it. All of it is done by humans. People. Do some research. Look into it, guys. This is not done by God. This is done by people. Even the virus is a bioweapon. It was created by people. Yeah, Paulika says, I'm a little worried about my savings. I hope I don't lose it. This is an uncertain situation. Pray for the best. Prepare for the worst. Yeah, I mean, of course I'm worried about that too. I think we all are. We all are. Homeschooling right now, says GLL. Nice. Good. All right. Yeah, Elena's in Milan, so right in the center of it. They're getting hit really hard. Schwan says, this time might be more terrible than the crisis of 2008. Oh, guaranteed it's more terrible. It's worse than 2008. Absolutely. For sure. Not even close. Much worse than 2008. Much worse. 2008 was really not that bad because what they did is they just printed a lot of money and put it into the banks, and they just kind of, this temporary fix, and they just continue to do all the same things that caused the problem, but even bigger. And that's why this collapse is going to be so much worse than 2008. Now, Slavika has a good message of hope, and she says, we will survive this difficult situation. We can live simply with little food, water. The most important is to stay calm. Exactly. I just need to do something very quickly. Sorry, guys. 1 second. Here it is. 1 second. Okay. This collapse is going to take care of the comments. 1 second, guys. Sorry. Okay. Sorry. Here we go. All right, good. Sorry about that. Just had to moderate the comments a bit. So yes, we will get through this. This is exactly why I said read Your Money or Your Life and watch that book club, all those videos again, because that's one of the big messages of that book is you really don't need so much, right? I mean, if you take away all our modern little toys, you need shelter, to stay warm and dry. And you don't need much. I mean, a tent will keep you warm and dry. A tarp even will keep you warm and dry. You need food, obviously, eventually. You can fast for a while, but you certainly need food and water. Again, you can get healthy, nutritious food fairly cheaply, especially if you do a garden, and you can even grow some of it yourself. So that doesn't cost much money. Some clothes. You already have clothes. You don't have to spend any more money for clothes. That's about it, guys. So that's actually, you don't really need very much to survive. We all like our little toys and things and fun stuff, but to survive, this is a very good point. So you don't need much at all. Very, 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 very little. So no need to be afraid. Abraham Ali says, I like this quote, hope for the best and prepare for the worst. It's an idiom in English. Okay, I'm going to jump down to the bottom and kind of go backwards here. Situation is stable in Japan. It is indeed. It is indeed. Okay. Mother Nature revenges us for what people have done. This is not Mother Nature, guys. This is not Mother Nature at all. Yeah, like Shaf has mentioned, we can work together by realizing what fiat money is. I think a lot of people are going to realize now what fiat money is, and pulling out of it as much as possible, and meditate. That's right. Now we know what real wealth is. It's not a number on a screen. It's not a piece of paper with a number on it, right? What's real wealth? It's the food you have. It's a garden. It's your home, etc. Right? It's real things. How's the situation in Japan? It's fine. No problem. Lots of people out having a picnic today in the park. It was very nice. What should banks do to prevent collapse? Not gamble. And it's a big topic. Look into it. They gamble. They're more or less printing money and giving out terrible loans and betting on all kinds of crazy things in different markets. That's why they're all not all, but that's why we're gonna probably see some bank failures. It's just this whole system can't survive anyway. This was going to come at some time. Eventually, it was going to happen, and this coronavirus thing just triggered it. It might have, it was always going to happen. Pablo's right. There are investment strategies to make money in an economic disaster also. There certainly are. Like if you know what you're doing, if you were prepared and you knew what you're doing, you could have shorted the market and you'd be making great money right now. But yeah, there are. It's a big topic. I'm not a great guy for teaching investment, but Pablo's correct. Good investors can make money in any market. Do you think banks will close? Maybe. We might have a bank holidays where they just close them for a while. I think some banks are going to fail and go bankrupt. Probably. I can't predict the future, guys, but it seems like that's quite probable. Now, how can the governments save them? Do we want the governments to save them? I don't know. We'll see. Oh, are there other businesses that could be booming during this crisis? For example, IT and communications, right? Well, like in the area of education, online education, homeschooling, anyone who like is doing something connected to homeschooling, online teaching, or more generally, not just education, but working from home, telecommuting. Like you said, yes, I think in the longer term, these are going to boom. People are going to be, even after this is gone, people will not forget. And I think we're probably going to see a boom. I hope we see a boom in homeschooling, and and not only that, but even schools using online classes like universities and things. I think that already has been happening, and I think that this is going to cause it to really grow a lot. So telecommunicate I can't give you specific investment advice, but I would guess that yes, certain pharmaceutical companies eventually, I don't know, things like that probably. Leonardo says, critical situation in Italy. I'm losing my power to study English. I don't know what to do. Prepare. Okay. Don't lose hope. Don't despair. Don't fear. What you do in tough times is you prepare. Get tougher and prepare so that you're ready. Right? Right now, if you're in home, think of it as can you use this crisis to your advantage? Learning, improving your English could be very helpful to you later. 2 months from now, 3 months from now, the virus is, whether it's real, how real it is, I don't know. But once it goes through and that's gone, then we have to deal with the economic crisis. The economic collapse will probably be much longer than the disease. So get yourself ready now, Leonardo, for that, right? Prepare like a fighter, training for a fight. Yeah, like Dr. Husty says, yes, I'm doing fasting. Really good for the health. Yes, it is. Yes, it is indeed. It's good for many things. Mental health, emotional health, physical health. Fasting overall is awesome. There you go, Irina, with a good example. I started to have each meal at home last year. I didn't visit any restaurant. Now I cannot eat in other places, only at home. It's a great advantage now. I realize how it decreases my expenses. Yep, that's right. Good point. That used to be one of my weaknesses, was I would eat out a lot. And now we eat at home, really only eat at home now. And yeah, we save a huge amount of money because of that. Our expenses are so low because we don't eat out. It's really great. Yeah, I mean, this is part of it. Galal says we need to keep faith. Every problem is going to be okay because God is with us. You will notice, I've noticed it online, for example, that people who have a strong faith, they are much less afraid. They're much more calm during all of this. And the people who don't, not always, but they often are the ones freaking out more. That's right. There is a certain, again, it's perspective, right? It's priorities. You start to realize that what are the few things that are super important for life and health and happiness, and then all the other crap that the modern world, schools, media, everything that trying to tell us that makes us happy. The cars, the big houses, the restaurants, all the little electronics, the phones, all that stuff. Now we realize it doesn't matter. None of that stuff makes us happy. We don't need it. Some of it's nice to have if you can afford it, but your life will not end if you lose it, right? If you don't have that stuff, you still can be totally happy as long as you have those important things: health, family, right? That's what is important. So it's a good opportunity now to realize this. I hope a lot of people wake up because of this. Muhammad said the American government will print money and the banks will print money. Don't confuse the two. The American government cannot print money. The Federal Reserve is not the American government. It's a private bank. All the central banks are private companies. They're not, the European Central Bank is not controlled by a government. They're private banks. So the governments aren't doing it. It's the banks will print money, you're correct, and try to loan it out and make us even more slaves and take even more wealth. And I'm sure that's their plan. Of course it is. That's what they do every single time. You're right. Of course they will. Happy Persian New Year. Yes, indeed. Zobedee, thank you for reminding me. Good point. Yeah, Pablo, do some research about liposomal vitamin C, especially. Liposomal. Fasting is good during a crisis, says Andrew. Yes, indeed. Yeah, Alexi, this is good. Ron Tron says, I'm working in food businesses. Currently, my company's doing really well as most restaurants are closed, right? Delivery, delivery companies that have delivery are doing probably very well right now. So, exactly. It's not all doom and gloom. There are opportunities in there still. Okay. Oh, the virus, someone asked about, can we get rid of the virus? Don't worry about the virus. You're fine. Focus on the economy. That's the more serious one for most of us. Let's see. Bertolin says, it's hard to believe the doctors can't find. Look, do your own research, but high doses of vitamin D, K2, D3, K2, and vitamin C. Also fasting. Prevent, you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. Owning gold, I believe. Dalal says, owning gold during this economic crisis is probably beneficial. Yeah, I hope so. I own some. We'll see. Oh, good. Pablo, you're taking those 3. Good. Very good. Fernando says, I've never done fasting. What is the first step? Stop eating. That's the first step. Stop eating. And don't drink anything except for salt water. That's it. That's the first step, and that's the last step. You can go on the snake diet. Go to snakediet.com. Okay. Snake.com. I'm going to show it on the screen. Just because when I talk about the salt water, there's a recipe for that. You don't have to do that, but it makes it a lot easier, a lot better. It's better for your kidneys and things if you do this, what he calls it, snake juice. It's just, it's basically like in the hospital, if you're in the hospital and they give you an IV, it's very similar to what they give you, sodium and potassium. And maybe if you want, you can also do a little bit of magnesium. So anyway, it's snakediet.com and then snakediet.com. And then you'll see up at the top there, he has snake juice recipe. This is his kind of like special one because he adds, he uses baking soda in it. It's not bad. That's not a bad idea. That gives you sodium also, and it's alkalizing. It's good for your kidneys also. And then he adds a little bit of magnesium in there too. But basically, it's water with just like 1 spoon of each of these things, and that's how you do it, Fernando. You stop eating and you drink that water, And that's all you do. It's really, really, really easy. When I watched when I first started doing the snake diet fasting, and I was watching his videos, just in the evening, and I watched I watched like 4 or 5 of them in a row, and I just decided I'm going to start fasting right now. I just started right then, right at that moment. It's easy. You just stop eating. You just don't eat. There's no need to make it complicated, right? Just don't eat. Drink the snake juice. That's exactly what Cole Robinson says as well at the Snake Diet channel. This is the easiest way. Yes, you can do dry fasting. That's a little more advanced, a little more serious, but for most people, just do the snake juice fasting, because you can start right now today. Like last night, I just decided I'm going to fast, right? So you don't have to do any big planning or anything. Just stop eating. And you can, how long? I think the first fast you do, 3 days, is a good one. 3 days is a nice first fast. 72 hours. And then after that, it depends on your goals. If you're trying to lose weight, it depends how fat are you. But like when I was losing weight, I wasn't so fat, right? So I did 2-day fasts. I would eat one time every 2 days. So every 48 hours, I would eat one time. That's what I did. And I did that for 5 weeks, and became pretty thin. You could do 3 days. Those are also good, where you just eat one time every 3 days if you have a little more weight to lose. If you're quite thin already, then you have to, probably the 2-day fasts are enough, and eat enough, and then you have to eat a lot on the second day. So there's lots of little things you can play around with, but if you just want to try fasting, just you could start right now today and do a 3-day fast. Yep, Vladislav says he eats at home as well, mostly. It's great. It does save you money, and it's healthier too, so it's really good. Yeah, like Pablo says, here's some investment ideas from Pablo. Put some minor part of your savings in strategies with a bear market, and put the rest in cash. Right. Good advice. Joy says, how long do you fast? Probably doing 3-day fast this time, maybe 2 days. We'll see. I haven't decided. I'll see how I feel tomorrow. But at least 2 days. Today's my first day. I won't eat tonight. Go to bed. After the show, I'll go to bed, and I won't eat tomorrow. If I do a 2-day fast, I'll eat tomorrow night, or I'll keep going. We'll see how I feel and what I want to do. Amir says, how do you get tougher emotionally? Well, do some of the things I mentioned. Feed your mind good positive things all the time. Get rid of the fear porn. Meditation and prayer both help. All of these things. Fasting actually helps quite a bit. I find that fasting helps me a lot to be tougher emotionally. Yeah, like Singh says, the healthcare industry will be booming, I think, as well. I think you're right. And the direct marketing industry, I think you're probably right. Funda says, you look in good shape. Thank you. Feeling good. Springtime. I'm quite happy in the springtime. What do I drink during fasting? I just drink the snake juice, like the salt water. That's all. I have done dry fasts, done a couple, but mostly I do just the snake juice. Karamov says, if Tokyo 2020, the Olympics, is canceled, Japan may have a huge problem with the economy. They might if they have to postpone it. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, like Robot here says, I focus on learning English. Just, am I doing well? Good. Good. That's all you can do, right? You've got to focus on what you can control. Okay, God, what is it today? We got some weirdos. Well says, I'm sure it's not healthy for your body to not eat for a day. No, you are totally wrong. It is very, very, very good for your body to not eat. What's bad for your body is eating all through the day many times. That's not good. Am I still fasting now? I am fasting right now. Did not eat today. Yes. Well, Richardson has, a positive outlook. He says, I think the economy will turn back stronger than in the days. Am I enthusiastic? No, like you said, hope for the best. I hope for that too. I'm hopeful that, there is some signs. We'll talk about this with Acharya tomorrow. If you follow Q, right? The Q stuff, like I mentioned the other day with the white pill resources, is very encouraging. If that stuff is true, if it's real, even partly real, then right, we'll have a big crash, but then we will come out with like a real economy, not just the stupid fiat money and the bullshit and the banks controlling everything. That's what Q says will happen. That's very optimistic, right? It means we have maybe 6 months of a really tough time, and then after that, much, much, much better. I hope, of course I hope that's true. Of course I do. But if that's true, well, then we can just, no problem. We'll be okay. So as I said, hope for the best. I think that's the best situation possible. And I definitely hope for it. But prepare for the worst, right? You can see the boat. Then you're covered, right? If you just prepare for the best and then the situation's really bad, well, then you're in a bad situation. If you prepare for the worst, if you cut your expenses and you fast and you get really mentally tough and you get better skills in your life, right, for jobs, and your English gets much better and you're really good at job searching and resumes and interviewing, and you're mentally really strong, and the best happens, you're going to be in a great position to make a ton of money, right? If the situation actually ends up being quite good, you do all these things, you're preparing for the worst. The situation we have good luck and it actually ends up being okay. You're now going to be in a great position, right? If the economy comes back strong, you can find a better job, making a lot more money. You're going to be in a much better position, a really great position. You'll be able to get those great opportunities that will come if this recovery happens, if this does happen, right? So you're not hurting yourself by preparing for the worst. You're not, right? I'm not saying be negative. I'm not at all, right? I'm not saying to be afraid. No. I'm saying just be practical. Just be calm and prepare for the worst. And if the worst doesn't happen, you still have improved. You're still in a strong position. In fact, your life is going to be much, much better. It'll be much more wonderful. I mean, I think that's what we all hope for. So, Richardson, I do agree with you. It's great to be enthusiastic. It's great to have that optimistic attitude. Keep that in your mind. I think that's nice. Keeps the fear out. But just prepare, just in case. Just prepare. This is called investing. It's called hedging, right? And Pablo can talk about this, right? Like people who are investing, like they say, like real investors, professionals, if they think, oh, the market's going to go up. The market's going to go up. The market's going to go up. So they will invest, right? They will invest planning that the market will go up. But even though they are, quite sure it's going up, they will always protect themselves, right? The good ones will always protect themselves just in case they're wrong, just in case something unexpected happens, like right now, right? So that if it does go down, they have other investments that will protect them. They can make money if it goes down also, right? It's called hedging, right? So that's basically what I'm saying for you all to do right now. I hope it will go up. I think definitely we have a big economic, we all know that's going to be bad for a while. I hope Richardson is correct and that after 5-6 months, maybe it's going to come back strong. But we should always prepare for the worst, right? We should always hedge against the disaster so that we're ready for the disaster too. That's what I'm saying. Galal says we have, yes, I'm very aware of Ramadan. When is Ramadan? Is it coming soon? Ramadan's great. I think that is a great, fantastic tradition. I believe it's Lent right now for Christians, at least for the Orthodox and the Catholics. So also a great time to fast before Easter, right? Yeah, fasting. Fast. It doesn't mean you can do it for many reasons. So that's great. Yes, I do. Of course, I know about Ramadan. Ramadan's a dry fast during the daylight hours, I believe. During Ramadan, you can fast more, right? You could do even more fasting if you wanted to. So you could fast, you could do 48s if you wanted to, 48-hour fasts. You could dry fast during the day. At night, the first night, don't eat. Just drink the snake juice. Then the second day, dry fast again. And then finally eat on the second night, right? So you would eat every second time instead of every night. You'd actually be doing an even better fast than Ramadan, or more intense, stronger. Jermila says, have you ever read the Nostradamus prophecies? Of course I've heard the name, but I actually have not read them. Sibylla prophecies concerning today's times. Or have I read those? I have not also. It's interesting to read it. Also about the Denver International Airport images. I do know about that. There's something really weird and probably evil happening at the Denver International Airport. Do some research, guys, online about it. It's creepy, weird, like maybe things happening, like tunnels underneath it. I don't know. There is something very weird about it. I agree. That one I know about, the Denver airport. It's bizarre. I'm not going to get into it. I'd have to do some more research about it. But I've seen a few things and it's strange. It's very strange. I don't know what's happening, but it's weird. Okay, what's the possibility that money will be worth nothing? Only food, clothing, and bullets. I don't know. Right? So that would be like an inflationary, like a hyperinflation, like what happened in Germany, right? Where the money became, or what has happened in Zimbabwe more recently, where the money just becomes worthless. Because they just print it. They print so much of it that it really isn't worth anything anymore. And people stop using it and people just start trading real things. I'm guessing they will try to do that. I mean, they have already done it. That's what the Central Bank of the United States has already printed $1 trillion or something. Maybe they didn't print $1 trillion, but they printed a lot, and they're doing all the same stuff, dropping the interest rates to nothing. And I don't know. This time it might not work. And then what will they do? They'll print more. They're going to keep doing that. But what could happen is that all the bankruptcies just collapse, and we get a depression instead of an inflation. So they're both, I don't know, like guys, I can't predict that. Nobody can. Okay, if you talk to expert and read expert economists, they're going to give you different opinions about that, right? And so I can't tell you which one will happen. I just know there's probably going to be a lot of unemployment and a lot of economic problems. The specifics, I don't know. Especially like inflation or deflation. I don't know. Liposomal vitamin C. Pablo found it. Yeah, it's more absorbable. And the other nice thing about liposomal vitamin C, Pablo, is that it's easier on the stomach. If you take straight vitamin C, like just with water and then powder, if you take large amounts, it won't hurt you, but you'll be going to the bathroom a lot. Let's put it that way. It's not comfortable. I've done it. Liposomal vitamin C is inside a liposome. Anyway, it's kind of got like kind of almost like a fat, so that when you take it, it doesn't mess up your stomach. It also, your body can absorb it better. So a couple advantages. All right, a couple more, and then I'm going to go. Please make Fake Assets, Fake Money by Robert Kiyosaki in the book club. I'll consider that. Thank you. I like his stuff, of course. Yeah, Marvin says, I deliver milk for Oak Farms Dairy in Houston, Texas. Now we're very busy. I imagine all the delivery businesses are super busy now. So good for you. I'm glad for you. Yeah, I mean, this is an interesting viewpoint here. Ma HF says, we're not meant to consume infinite news, porn, and food. We live in an era of too much abundance. This is the modern struggle. There's so much abundance of cheap, fake, instant dopamine and meaning. Well said. Check out anonymousconservative.com blog, his blog, or his book, anonymousconservative.com. Talks about this. He has got a theory about this, about there are two kinds of basic human psychologies, even possibly genetics, where one he calls the rabbits and one he calls the wolves, right? R and K. And that basically in times like when we have super abundance, there's just too much of everything. Then we get the crazy behavior, like all the weird transsexual stuff and all the crazy crap that's been happening, right? On the other hand, there are times of what he calls a K. This is when the abundance disappears, when it becomes more competition, times are much harder. And then we see a big change away from all that. People will not tolerate that garbage. And we get a return to very strong traditions and discipline and things like that. So, which is a good part of it. It's hard, but there are some good things that go with it, I'd say. Potentially. Asma also doing vitamins. Nice. Okay, I think that's about it, guys. I'll take a couple more. Let me read the bottom here and see if there's No says something's wrong. I just can't believe in the coronavirus. I understand you. I know what you're talking about. Ishmael says, oil prices falling more and more every single day. Cheaper than water right now. Now, that's probably good for the world economy eventually. Eventually, that's could be very good. Everything becomes much cheaper. Not good for oil companies, obviously, or oil-producing countries. That's going to suck for them. Ibrahim Ali says, I like about AJ, if you don't know something, you always say, I don't know. But school teachers pretend to know everything. Yeah, some do. I know it kind of sucks, but if you don't know, there's nothing wrong with saying you don't know. It's a good thing to do. If you don't know, just say you don't know, right? Because it's impossible to know everything. There's no way I can predict all this stuff. I'm giving you kind of what I think is quite obvious. And giving you some suggestions on how to prepare and not fear and be strong. But the real details of it, I can't predict because nobody can. Obviously, nobody can. Panic buying, what's your advice? Panic paying or buying? I think you mean buying. Ask Ferris. Well, it sucks. See, this is why you got to This is why all those guys, they're called preppers. They're smart, right? So they always say, you got to prepare now. You prepare during the good times. You got to be like the ants, not the grasshopper. So like the ants, you always have enough food for 3 months or 6 months or whatever you want. But 3 months minimum, I'd say. And you just kind of always prepared so that when something like this happens, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to run out and try to buy stuff when everyone else is trying to do it. Now, that said, guys, I think there's plenty of food still. I was doing a search on just Amazon yesterday. I can only go by America, but, there's still, you can order food from Amazon and have it delivered to you, like bags of rice and things like that. Or canned foods or whatever. So, that's okay. So maybe stock up a little bit. You don't have to go crazy, but it's not a bad idea to stock up a little. And then in the future, always have that. Always have, because maybe next time it's not a pandemic. Next time it's an earthquake or just a hurt. Like we got hit by a typhoon here 2 years ago, and we lost power for 3 days, right? And it could be longer, like what happened in New Orleans several years ago, right? Where it was a huge disaster. Russia says our shops are full with food and paper in Ufa, Russia. Nice. How will it affect Bitcoin? Asked Scott Anderson. I have no idea. Oh, Margarita in Russia. Well, good. I'm happy. It seems like Russia's doing fine, which is great. Although the oil thing might not help Russia very much. Who learns Japanese faster, you or your children? I'm guessing my children. They're a little small yet, so I don't know. But I know they're going to learn faster. Of course they will. Sam says, do you think we can get rid of the virus and life will be normal again? Oh, yes. Like I said, the virus is definitely going to go poof, gone. I'm thinking summer. We'll see. But it's the economic stuff that probably will be longer, I'm guessing. Yeah, like Pablo says, investing in the markets today without experience is like having a Ferrari and is like jumping into a Ferrari and not driving a car before. You will crash. Yeah, good point. Now is not a time. If you don't know what you're doing, stay out. Okay, guys. Jarmila says the Corona masks are impossible to get, so everyone's trying to make theirs own at home. There are a lot of recipes on how to make a mask. Yeah, actually, my wife's mom made one for us, each of us. It's nice. Okay, guys. That's it, guys. Okay. Just a quick recap, a summary. Prepare now for the economic problems that are probably coming. Okay, I can't predict the future. Nobody can, but most likely some big economic problems are coming. So don't fear, don't panic, but absolutely get prepared now. And then if things are really bad for a while, possibly a long while, you will be ready. You'll be in a position to keep your job or get a new job if you need to, and you're going to be okay, all right? The prepared will do well. People who are unprepared, people who don't think ahead, they're not going to do well, right? It's just exactly like the ants and the grasshoppers, right? In that story we did with Aesop. Everything's great for everybody during the summer when everything's wonderful. But then in the winter time, right, the grasshoppers really suffer or die. I think in this case, they will suffer, not die. I don't think anyone's dying, but they're going to suffer. And people who are prepared, who have a strong mindset and prepare now and are ready, they're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. Just so instead of being afraid, instead of worrying, instead of the fear porn, spend your time focusing on learning and preparing and being strong, and you're going to be okay. You'll be okay. Okay, so tomorrow at 8 a.m. Japan time. So it's 10 p.m. here now. So 10 hours from now, 10 hours from right now, I will interview Acharya. We'll talk about some of the more spiritual aspects of dealing with this. And we may get into the Q stuff too. I know he follows Q. I can tell. He knows about Q. So we may talk about the Q stuff. And I think once again tomorrow with Acharya, I'll be giving you some white pills, guys. Some big, and he will be giving us some really big white pills, some very optimistic and positive thoughts. And also, the reality that things are tough, but so please watch that. If you can watch it live, join me live. If not, you can watch the recording. Okay, join my VIP program or get my business English course, whichever. You have a lot of time now. So get my VIP program at effortlessenglishclub.com, effortlessenglishclub.com. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye.